Hi, grade 7/8s. We just finished our Zoom meeting. I'm going to upload this for you so that if you need to reference back to what we talked about today, you can. And remember, you can always send me a message, email me, or send me a text. So this week, your assignments that were due were your geography assignment. A bunch of you guys have finished this. It was the page that looked something like this. It had a map of Asia, a map of Japan on the back. If you've already submitted that, then you don't have to worry about it. The next one that you were supposed to finish were your introduction notes on Japan. You need a textbook for this, which you all should have. And you can either do this online and then submit it on Google Classroom or just send back the paper copy to me. The third assignment is the Edicts of Lomond. And so what this assignment is meant to do is to kind of mimic the edicts that were put out in Japan that helped isolate it. And so the neat thing about this is that you guys are literally living some of these edicts in real life now. So before, it might have been kind of hard to imagine what it was like to be told you can't travel, you can't leave the country, you have to stay home kind of thing. But now that we're actually doing this, it's very similar and it might be easier for you guys to give some answers. And so as you go through the sheet, what I suggested in the Zoom meeting was that you split your table in half. Put Japan on one side, Lomond on the other. And when you're filling in how people would have felt in Japan, you have to remember that this is also very far in the past. So we're talking like during the late 1600s. And so you can't just put like, oh, well, this would have sucked, but I guess I could still call my grandma who's in another country, because they physically can't call people. For people in Lomond, even if you don't travel a lot or leave the country, you still need to think about how this could affect people's daily lives. So if someone had a trip planned to go to the States, or someone had tickets booked to go to Arizona or go somewhere during Easter, it's going to affect and change their life a little bit. Or people who frequently go across the states to the States, you can't actually do that now unless there's like a business purpose for it. So there's a lot of things that are affecting people's lives. So if you don't feel directly affected, I want you to try think outside of the box and critically think about how other people's lives could be affected. So I gave you guys an example up here on the board. Oh, awesome. I didn't write it backwards, so it makes no sense. So I'll just read it to you. Under Japan, for how a rule about being forbidden to travel to foreign countries might affect you, I put that farmers, villagers, and people that have low income, that are poor, that don't really leave their village or town to begin with, this probably really doesn't affect them at all. Or maybe they don't even know that it's a law in place yet. And if they do, they're not worried because they've never actually left their own village or their own area. And so it really isn't a big deal to them. However, if you lived in one of the major port cities and maybe your business is trading goods back and forth with China or South Korea or other countries, and you own a shipyard, this is going to change your life momentously because you now cannot import and export goods. Under Lomond, I put that if you have family members that live in other countries or you have vacations planned, it can be really upsetting and impact your life a lot because now you can't go see those people. Or if you had something you were really looking forward to go spend time with your family, maybe it was a holiday down somewhere warm or you're going on a cruise or something, it's going to impact your life because now that week or that time that you had planned and that money that you had budgeted to spend is no longer available. Hopefully none of you guys had trips planned that you had to cancel. I had to cancel a trip, so my life is impacted, right? Of course, I'd rather stay home. So that's the other thing you have to keep in mind. In Japan's situation, they purposely isolated just themselves from the world. In our situation, the whole world is isolating. And so they're doing it to help save other people's lives. Japan's is different. It was a choice, whereas ours is now becoming rules that are no longer our choice. We have to do, there's certain things we have to do, or we can be fined, things like that. So go through those questions, split them all into Japan and Lomond. Don't just put an answer that says like, oh yeah, this would really suck. Okay, well, I know that. Give me a specific example. One of the questions, number 7, you have to go to the Alberta government website. It's going to give you a list of new rules that have been put in. The example we talked about in Zoom was that now, instead of meeting with 50 people, you can actually meet with 15. And we talked about how this could impact someone's life. So things have been canceled, weddings, funerals. There's multiple events that are no longer happening. The Olympics, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It's an international sporting event that is no longer going to happen this year. And so you need to just talk about, pick one of the rules or one of the things that you have to follow and do now, and how that could impact people in Alberta. Remember, like I said, maybe it doesn't impact you personally, but then I want you to critically think about, okay, what could this mean for someone else in a different situation? And then finally, I've given you guys a link and printed out the article for the couple in BC who bought a whole bunch of Lysol wipes from all the Costco's and superstores, and then they were reselling them at a higher price. And I want you to talk about how this could affect other people in the community. So if multiple people do something like that, buy out all the toilet paper, which has been happening, they buy all the milk, or they buy all of the cleaning products, how does that affect other people that are also trying to get those goods? Like I said, if you guys have any questions, please send me an email, reach out. I'm here all week, and I'm here for you guys. Okay, talk to you soon.